Son, a little bird told me your idiot wife just got promoted to director. Well, I just came back from the bank. My loan got approved, so let that hen pay it off. And don't you dare argue, or I'll throw both of you out of the apartment without even blinking," said the mother-in-law. Her voice echoed through the small kitchen like a punch to the stomach. I stood quietly in the hallway, keys still in hand, coat still on. She hadn't seen me yet. "My name is Sierra Lorne, I'm 32. And if you think this is just another overbearing mother-in-law story, wait. How many times can you pretend not to hear someone tearing your worth into ribbons?" I stepped forward slowly, just enough to let her see me standing there. She blinked. "Oh, look who's home early. We were just talking about the hen?" I asked gently, placing my bag on the table. "That's fine. Just remember, hens don't crow. They build." Her smirk faltered. I turned to my husband. "You knew about this loan?" He opened his mouth, closed it. "I didn't agree to be anyone's silent wallet," I said, voice calm. "Not yours, not hers." Then I took a deep breath, reached into my coat pocket and pulled out the house deed. "I signed for something too today," I said. "A house. In my name only. And I'll be moving out tonight." Her teacup shattered. The silence that followed was delicious. It wasn't the kind of silence that begged to be filled. It was the kind that spoke for itself, loud, final, irreversible. My husband stammered first. "Sierra, wait. We were going to talk about this." "You were going to tell me?" I corrected, removing my ring and placing it on the counter beside the shattered cup. "Just like she tells you. Just like she tells us how we'll live, what we'll pay, what we'll tolerate." My mother-in-law stepped forward, finger raised. "You ungrateful girl. My son gave you everything. That promotion? That's because of his sacrifices. His father's contacts. The apartment, the food, even that car. Paid for by me." I cut in calmly. "And you know it. You just hoped I'd be too polite to remind you." She opened her mouth, but I beat her to it. "The bank didn't approve your loan because of your business plan. They approved it because of my income, because you used my name as co-signer without even asking." That detail made her flinch. "Good. I revoked the co-signature today. Legally, they're going to reevaluate the loan based solely on your records." I pulled out the printout and laid it on the table. "And guess what? With your debt ratio, they'll be calling you any minute." I turned to leave, but she hissed after me. "If you step out that door, don't ever come back." I paused in the doorway. I wasn't planning to, but thank you for making it easier. She didn't see the silent figure waiting by the elevator. My brother, arms folded, suitcase already packed. She didn't know he had recorded everything. And she definitely didn't expect what he'd reveal. He stepped out of the shadows like he'd been waiting for this moment his whole life. "Nice performance in there," my brother said, nodding toward the apartment. "Glad I caught the encore." I blinked, surprised. "You're here?" "I've been staying in a rental on the next block. Watching. Recording. Gathering proof." He held up his phone, face hard. "Every time they humiliated you. Every time they called you a burden. Every time she used your name for financial gain." I stared at him. "Why?" He looked down, jaw clenched. "Because I know what it's like to be their pawn. You think it's bad as a daughter-in-law? Try being the less useful son." When I stopped sending money, she cut me off like I never existed. "She said you left," I whispered. "Said you wanted nothing to do with us." He scoffed. "I begged them to let me stay. I offered to clean, to do repairs, anything. She called me pathetic. And then, I found the papers." He reached into his bag and handed me a folder. I opened it. Property papers. Medical bills. A secret account. All under my name forged. "She's been funneling your bonuses and promotions into a joint account she controls. Look at the dates. Every raise you got, she filed an adjustment to your banking instructions behind your back." I felt like the floor tilted. "She said she'd handle the paperwork. When I got promoted, she handled it all right." And then, like fate had been listening the whole time, her phone rang. The bank. And the first thing they asked was, "Why did your co-signer rescind her authorization this morning?" She stormed out of the apartment in her slippers, shouting into the phone. But the damage had begun, and we hadn't even released the proof yet. She banged on our door like a storm. "What the hell did you do? You ungrateful little rat. You think you're smart? I'll fix this." I stayed seated, calm. My husband stood beside me, jaw tight but silent. From the couch, my brother pressed play. Her voice, from a recording. "Of course she doesn't know I changed the account. She's too busy working like a donkey to notice. It's better this way. I'll just say it's for rent." Another clip. "She's getting a promotion? Wonderful. Time for another family emergency. She'll never say no. Such a naive little doll." And then one more. "If she ever steps out of line, I'll toss both of them on the street. I own them." Silence. Her mouth hung open. My father-in-law froze in the hallway. My husband finally spoke. "I've been blind for years," he said. "I thought this was just tension between you two. But you used us. Used her. And worst of all, you enjoyed it." She tried to recover. "It was a joke." "No. It was a pattern." My brother stepped forward. "This entire file, including forged documents, is already with our lawyer. The bank's fraud department has been notified. And tomorrow, her employer's legal team will get copies too, since her signature was used to open a loan she never saw." "You wouldn't dare," she whispered. My brother raised an eyebrow. "Oh, I would. And I'm just getting started." She reached for her phone, as if she could undo everything with one call. But the number she dialed didn't go through. My husband had already blocked her. She looked at me. You let him do this?" I met her eyes, steady. "I didn't let him do anything. I just stopped protecting you." And somewhere inside her, she knew the control was unraveling. She didn't leave. She didn't scream, didn't beg. She just stood there, like a statue cracked through the middle, refusing to fall. Then slowly she smiled. "You all think you've won? You have no idea what I've done for this family. What I've sacrificed. You'll come crawling back. You always do." With that, she turned and walked out. Not defeated, but dangerous. That night, my husband sat beside me, the glow of the lamp washing over his face. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I let her treat you like a bank. Like a maid. I saw it. I just thought if I ignored it, it would go away." I leaned into him, tired. "I didn't marry you to protect me from her. I married you because you never let the world change your heart." And she did. She tried. But I changed before she could. We sat in silence until the phone buzzed. It was a message from the landlord. "Just got a call from your mother-in-law. She said to take her off the lease. Apparently she never paid rent once in 5 years. You're liable for the back amount unless you prove fraud. I need documentation by Monday." She was faster than we thought. "She's going to bury us in legal mess," my husband muttered. "And now the lease? She's burning every bridge." But I just stared at the screen. "No," I said. "She's building a story. She wants to look like we kicked her out, left her broke, humiliated her. She's preparing sympathy, not war." "What do we do?" I got up, walked to the cabinet, and pulled out a pale blue folder. "She's not the only one who kept records," I said. "Let's remind her who she underestimated. Because if she wanted to play victim, I'd show the world what her cruelty really cost." Monday morning, I walked into the housing office with that pale blue folder clutched in my hands. Inside were 5 years of bank transfers, signed agreements, text messages begging for extensions, and most importantly, one voice memo from 2 years ago. Her voice, drunk and cruel. "You better be grateful I let you two live here. You'll pay every bill and still thank me. I'm the queen of this damn apartment." I handed everything over. The officer raised an eyebrow as he scanned the contents. "This is enough to open a fraud inquiry, especially with your husband's name being the only one officially on the lease." She bullied him into it, emotionally, financially. "But we have proof." He nodded. "You'll be contacted once it's reviewed. But from what I see here, you're in the clear." "She's not." I stepped out into the parking lot and called my husband. "It's done," I said. "Are you okay?" he asked. I think I am. But I wasn't ready for what came next. By evening, my mother-in-law had posted a public video. She sat on a couch, tissues in hand, surrounded by old wedding pictures and childhood drawings, my husband's, of course. With shaky breath, she said, "I gave them everything. And now they've turned on me. My daughter-in-law had me evicted. My own son won't return my calls. I'm alone. No money. No home." The comment section exploded. How can a wife separate a mother from her son? That girl just wanted the apartment. Wow. Director of Finance, more like Director of Heartlessness. She was good. Very good. By midnight, 2 local blogs had picked it up. The sympathy wave was rolling. And she tagged my company. That's when I knew she wasn't done. She didn't just want a roof. She wanted ruin. But what she didn't know, I had one last move left. And it wasn't just personal. It was public. She thought she could drown me in pity posts and tear-soaked lies. So I gave her what she really wanted, attention. The next day, I created a private link. 1 folder. No passwords. Just a single sentence. In case you want both sides. Then I sent it anonymously to the same blogs, to every influencer who'd reshared her sob story, and to a few online lawyers who loved exposing fake victims. Inside the folder. That voice memo. "You'll pay every bill and thank me." Screenshots of the bank transfers from our joint account to her every month. A text where she threatened to fake illness unless we bought her groceries. And the kicker, a legal notice showing she'd falsely claimed ownership of the apartment. I didn't add captions. Didn't need to. By noon, the first blog updated their post. Update, new evidence surfaces in viral mother-son dispute. Viewers divided. Then came the comments. Wait, SHE never owned the apartment. So her son was paying the bills? Why did she lie about being evicted if she was never on the lease? She tried to fight it. Posted another video crying harder, this time in front of a church. But sympathy was slipping. The truth doesn't need to scream. It just waits. And then, quietly, a company email came in. "Hi. Due to recent social media activity involving your name, we're pausing public-facing projects you're attached to. Internal HR would like to speak." I closed my laptop. She hadn't ruined my job, but she'd stained my name. I walked into our empty living room. The couch where she used to sit was gone. Her scent, her framed photos, her endless chatter, all gone. But the weight? Still there. Until I noticed one final envelope on the kitchen table. I opened it and froze. It was from the building's new management. And inside was her last card. It was a formal letter. Cold. Unfeeling. The kind my mother used to say, "Only cowards send." This letter is to confirm the full transfer of lease and property title to the rightful owner, as per agreement signed and witnessed on date. We regret to inform you that your prior claims have been found false. Any further attempt to access the premises will be considered trespassing. And stapled behind it, a photocopy of her forged ownership document, the one she tried to slip through weeks ago. She had signed my name in trembling ink, filed it behind my back, tried to take the only place I had left. But management wasn't stupid. And neither was I. Because 2 weeks before all of this, I had already paid off the full remainder of the lease, registered it under my own name, removed her as my emergency contact, and filed a quiet complaint with the building's legal advisory team, just in case. She never saw it coming. She thought betrayal was a one-way street. But I was raised by her. And I learned well. The next day, I drove by the community center where she used to host her empowerment evenings. Empty chairs. A sign that read, "Closed until further notice." She hadn't just lost her audience. She lost her mask. I rolled the window down, let the breeze carry away the last of her perfume from my hoodie. And then I drove home, to my apartment. Mine, not hers. No backup, key taped under the sink. No picture of her on the hallway wall. No voice reminding me I was ungrateful, or a disappointment, or just like your father. Just me. Quiet. I made coffee. Sat by the window. and watched as the evening sun hit the floor exactly where her shadow used to fall. She made her story loud. I made mine last. And silence, finally, was mine to keep.